mics are. I am, but I'm not seeing anything on the. Oh, yeah. I'm going to keep talking right here.
All right. Okay.
You can hear us?
All
Good.
right.
We can't hear ourselves.
No, I can't.
Test, 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 test. Anything?
No, I still don't.
Testing, testing, testing. Test, test, test. Test, 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 test,
No.
test, test. Nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. Is it coming off of the Logitech or is it coming off our headphones? Okay. Well, we're not all that sophisticated. We can figure it out. Just put one headphone on and you're good to go.
There you go.
I'll do some questions and Jason will pop over here and we'll go through some of the stuff. Want to make sure that you guys are getting a good plug from us, and then yeah, we'll go through it. Yep.
Yeah, that'll work.
All right, go for it, guys.
Hey everyone, Robert here with Mr. Texas Real Estate. Joined today by Sean. Sean, why don't you introduce yourself? Talk about your organization. Get your plug in right now.
Get it in. So Sean Riley, Capital Concepts. We're a hard money lender.
Yep.
Also do the permanent financing. If you're
Sure.
keeping them as rentals, we got financing for it. Just not your traditional Fannie Mae stuff. We do that, but any of the portfolio stuff. So, if it's out of the box, the Fannie Mae, can't provide tax returns type of deals, or if you're self-employed, write everything off, do that kind of stuff. Or if you're just over 10 properties, we've got all kinds of loans for that as well.
Contact info?
Yeah, website, forsmartmoney.com, or you can always reach us, 713-651-9500.
Let's talk about that entrepreneur that gets into the business and, is probably motivated by the wrong thing, right? They're driven by not paying taxes,
Right?
right?
Which a lot of them are.
A lot of them don't want to pay taxes, so they find every excuse for write-off. But then they come
That's
to
right.
you, and they're ready to either buy their own home, or they're ready to buy a vacation home, or they're ready to buy some investment property. And lo and behold, we got an issue when it comes to debt to income, right?
Right. With your standard underwriting, have to fit the box of Fannie Mae. Yeah, you're going to run into issues because it's very strict. If you don't fit in there, then they just won't do the loan. But there's all other kind of options for those type of borrowers. We could do bank statements. We could do, and if the bank statements don't, basically they take the deposits, average them out over 12 months. I can give a certain percentage credit for that. There's their income.
So here's what I always say about hard money and commercial lending. You'll sit down with a loan officer, and I'm not saying you. We'll say the other guys.
Yeah.
The other guy down the hall.
Yeah.
He'll tell you that you can get, hey, man, we're rates are as low as 6%. We don't need to show any income. It's asset-based. Credit score as low as 580 and, as low as 2 points. And then my question always is that one product or is that 5 different products?
Yeah, exactly. He's probably giving you
He's giving you the highlights of 5 different products.
Exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So there is a trade-off to everything, right? If you've got low
absolutely.
FICO, low debt to income, you're not going to get that teaser rate. You're not going to get that 5.5. You're not going to get 2 points. You're going to be paying a lot more than that.
Exactly. Yeah. It's and I tell everybody that, of course, up front. Tell them, as the less documentation you can provide, and the worse picture you draw for any lender, it's a higher risk, higher rate.
Absolutely.
It's just what it is. More money down or more money into the deal.
More money into the deals.
It's
yes.
just that's how they offset it.
I think we have a really good understanding of that business. We don't have any massive years of experience like you guys, but we understand. And I always look at that loan officer position as very lucrative,
Oh, sure.
but man, it's so tough because underwriters, especially in the last 6 months, have been ducking and weaving and changing requirements. And what you think you had a good deal lined up, the underwriter comes back. And we face that all the time.
Yeah.
So, I don't want to beat the loan officer up too much, but I will
Sure.
because they're not the underwriter.
Yeah. No.
So explain the process a little bit about intaking the loan.
Yeah, so like a loan officer's, a good loan officer's job is to gather all the documentation, get it all in there, either give it to a processor who's going to turn around and take care of it and run with the ball from there, as far as submitting everything to underwriting, getting everything buttoned up with them as far as conditions go.
Sure.
And then that's when a real, kind of meets the road is the underwriting, and that's where the underwriter comes in. I fortunately, through doing this many years, I used to underwrite.
Gotcha.
So a lot of this stuff I try to catch up front, and so that when it does get there, I know. I mean, it is extremely rare, and I can't even think of the last time that I ever had a deal and I didn't get it approved.
Gotcha.
The second I look at it, it's either I know I've got a source for it.
Right,
I already
or we're in
know that.
trouble.
Yeah, it's done. But yeah, some unexperienced, loan officers don't know that or have that background. Yeah, they'll just gather all the documents up, throw it over there, see if it sticks. Told the guy, yeah, you're good to go, and then they get it in there to underwriting. The underwriting's like, yeah, we can't take this.
Yeah, we were working with an organization, a brand new loan officer, and I'm listening to him. I was like, just submit it and let me know what I have to do.
Yeah.
Right?
Let's
I'm not
skip this
believing
part of what
anything
you're saying.
Yeah, just get it in, right?
Yeah.
But again, so let's talk about the back end of the business,
Yeah.
right? As big and as awesome as many loans as you do, my guess is you're not sitting on your own $100 million worth of paper, right?
Right. Yeah.
You're pushing the paper off. And
Absolutely.
people are buying that, and so
Yeah.
now there's it's not just to get the loan approved, the loan, right? So not just getting that through underwriting, someone's got to buy it,
Right.
right? And so
Yeah.
buying those notes, and so it's a really good business out there. There are a lot of institutions that'll do it, a lot of private individuals, a lot of people out of the Quest room will buy those notes, right?
Absolutely.
So, but then we got to get to them, right? And their standard is and could be different, and they probably are the ones. And I want people to understand when we talk about COVID and economy and politics and all that stuff, it's really those folks, those institutions that we're worried about most about their opinion.
Absolutely.
Right?
Because they're the ones that ultimately are buying this and holding on to it
Right.
for a certain period of time before they in turn may turn around and sell it off.
Exactly. We do buy and hold, so we're still having problems finding good rates.
Yeah.
Strike that. Reasonable rates.
Right.
Reasonable
Right.
rates on buy and hold properties because
Yeah.
there's a threat that if Biden gets in, there's a rent moratorium for at least another year, right?
Yeah.
So what does that mean?
Yeah.
Nobody knows, and it's essentially those note holders are going to be on the hook.
Right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so that's why you're seeing a lot of that movement with underwriters, where one day it was this,
Yep.
and next day it's well, no, we're not going to do that any longer. We actually, instead of the 6 months, we're more comfortable with 12 months reserves.
Sure.
And instead of 75, we're only going to do 70 now. And you just gotta. Those are the.
We've
things.
had someone who's asked us for 6 months of payments up front.
Yeah.
Not reserves, just
Oh, up front.
we want
Yeah.
the
Okay.
payments.
Yeah. That
Yep.
doesn't surprise me.
no, not at all.
mean-
Well, I'm happy to pay them as long as they take the note, right?
Sure. Yeah, and it's a reasonable rate. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's the thing is a lot of people will, in certain situations, they hear maybe a 6 or 6% interest rate or 6.5%, and they go, "Wow, that's high." And I'm like, well, wait a minute. Let's review this though. You're not giving me any tax returns to back up what your income
you haven't
is.
paid taxes,
Right.
right? So
I'm looking at your credit report
Yeah.
and the debt on this property.
Right.
And that's it. So there's got to be a little give and take. And then, you got to kind of educate people on that, because they do, they see the sticker shock. Well, I see the interest rates are at two. Well, yeah, it's at 2 something for a primary residence with 20% down,
yeah.
with great 700 plus credit.
740 plus. We're
Right.
not touching anything below 7.
And they're looking at 2 years tax returns. And
Right.
yeah, sure, those
Go
rates
get
are
me all those
available.
docs. I'll get you about 3%.
Exactly.
Right, not a problem.
Right. Yeah.
We call it the when you go to the banks and you're working with FHA, we call it the financial colonoscopy, right? 'Cause
Oh
they
yeah,
want everything.
It is. I won't deny it, and I tell everybody that, especially if you're dealing with Fannie Mae. It's that's the deal.
But here's the thing. Listen, as big as this real estate market is, what we do, it's a small world, right?
Sure.
So we all kind of understand each other, but there's a good chance you're taking that note and selling it to California or to New York City or to Chicago.
Right.
They have no idea what the we're not on radio, so we have no idea what the fuck is going on
Right.
in Houston, right? They want to know, right?
Yeah.
And so it's a lot of guys will start beating their chests like, I deserve this, and we're like, you're no one.
Yeah.
Nobody knows you. No one ever knows.
That's right. You are a number.
That's it. It's a little tiny, like a one binary number, right? Just
Right.
a 1 or a 0.
Yeah.
Somewhere else. And so, talk to me about experienced investors. Are they still in the marketplace? Are they still flipping? Or have people moved to buy and hold? Or have the experienced buy and holds? Have they taken a break? What are you seeing in the marketplace?
The experienced ones I'm seeing, some are moving a little bit more to flips because the seller market, they're doing a little bit of the higher flips.
Nice.
Where the 300 to 500 where that market is actually kind of hot right now.
Yeah, sure is. Yep.
So some of those guys are doing flips where typically they weren't before. But I'm still, the buy and holds. I'd say the majority of our business is still buy and hold. I've still got those guys that are just like clockwork. If the deal makes sense, they're, the numbers look good. They're keeping these properties.
Is that majority? Are they straight go into 5, 10, 30-year notes, or are they flipping into holds? So they're getting
from the hard money.
Two products from you.
Yeah. So they're a large majority. In fact, I would say 90% are still doing the hard money to that type of a product.
Gotcha.
Because they're still leveraging the hard money because it's
Yep.
less money out of pocket.
Sure is.
And that's the route to go. If you can go that route.
So a little catch-22 that we're seeing is hard money's on LTV, long term's on LTC.
But I've got one. So I've got a lender, a product that will still do off of LTV, but I've got to have a 90-day seasoning on it.
Okay.
So, but
well,
yeah, and
we
I'm
suck at flipping, so everything's at least 90 days.
Yeah. So I'm still doing the 90 days.
So you go right into that.
Yeah,
Nice.
yeah. So I've got, I just tell everybody, here's the deal. We'll put you in hard money. You do that. You do the rehab. We'll get you done. Stay in it for 90 days. Go ahead and get it leased. Kind of offset what your hard money loan payments are going to be. At that 91st day, I could turn around and put them in the long-term loan. I could start all the paperwork and do everything and get them ready and teed up. I just can't close to that 91st day. But after that, I throw them right into this, go off of 75% of appraised value, as long as the DSCR is met. So
Sure.
that's the trick on that particular one. So as long
What's
as
their DSR they're looking for?
1.1, actually.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they've lowered it. I know. It was
Commercial
1.3,
loan
which
there,
was
yeah.
killing my deals because, you're looking at rates at that time, all this COVID stuff, it was high 7s to creeping
Sure.
up to 8s, and then they're telling you they want 1.3. Man, that was hard to hit. It wasn't, every deal was getting there without having to pay that note down. Now they've backed off the rates a little bit, and they've lowered that debt service coverage ratio to 1.1. Man, I'm hitting those like clockwork.
Nice. So for those who don't understand, DSCR's debt service coverage ratio.
Yeah.
It's the how many mortgages can 1 month of rent pay.
Correct. Yeah.
So if you have $1,500 rent and the mortgage is $1,000, you have a 1.5 DSCR.
Correct. Which are golden. Yeah.
Yeah,
Anything
you're good to go.
in my case over 1.1, you're good.
Our
So,
fund is averaging 1.69.
nice. Yeah.
So we
That's
cherry-picked
awesome.
all that good stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's going to be really important for folks. Are you finding a lot of your investors are do they tend to work with Section 8, or are they just out on the regular market?
More regular market. I mean, I'd have a few of those guys that are doing some Section 8 stuff, but I would say the vast majority of them are all doing just the regular, cookie cutter type of, rentals, 175 and below ARVs and,
Sure.
Maybe even a little bit less and just, bread and butter type of deals.
Is there one particular area of town that you're thinking is pretty hot these days?
Man.
Or you just liking the market in general?
God, yeah, it's not really in particular a place that I'm just seeing that is, I still see at least 2-3 times a week Texas City. I still see Lamarck area. I still
why
see,
not, right?
Yeah, those
crazy.
It is. Those they just rent. They're great.
We just bought another one. We just bought 2 more down there.
Yeah. Rents are great there. So I see those weekly. 021. I'm seeing that area as more as appreciation capture.
Okay, so I don't know the zip codes yet. Where's 021?
Okay, so that's like kind of medical center,
Yep.
but it's a kind of coming up area too.
Is that where Carter lost that great deal?
I don't think so, because he's inside the loop.
Remember that 8plex or whatever he had?
I always get confused with 021 and 025. No, he was on the other side of 288.
Okay.
So this is 610, 288, inside the loop, north of 610, 288, that little wedge.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah. It's where we got that 3 unit down there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Yeah, it's right down the street.
Yeah, that's a good neighborhood. We like that.
Yeah.
Give them your plug again, man.
Yeah. So you can reach us on the web, 4smartmoney.com. That's the number 4, smartmoney.com, or our number, 713-651-9500.
Give me the number again.
713-651-9500.
Thanks.
You bet.
Okay. Do you mind talking politics?
Oh,
'Cause we're
go
on the
ahead.
phone.
No, I love it.
So I'm going to assume I know who you're voting for.
And you're probably right.
But we've been looking at both sides of the coin, and I don't know what you're following. We don't think there's much change if the Trump gets in.
No.
I think it's pretty much he gave us everything we were going to get in that first term, but it's a known.
Yeah.
Right? It's the known.
Absolutely.
The thing about Biden is it's unknown.
That's exactly right.
Right? It could be really, really good. There could be if he does pull off that $15,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers, that will accelerate the market. Right now, everyone in their mind, mother will be flipping houses.
Right.
Right? That's when you're going to get the hairstylist back into the flipping game.
Right. Yeah.
Everyone's going to leave their job and start flipping houses.
Right.
Because you can play with that market. I'm not a big fan of the 1031 exchange because I think it artificially inflates the market. I don't think they're looking for reasonable deals. I think they're just looking to park money.
Yeah.
So if there's an extra $100,000 in this $2.1 million deal, they don't care.
Yeah.
It's the same thing. But I think that will artificially inflate the market. It will really make it boom.
Yeah.
So that could be a good thing.
Right. Yeah.
He could also stop all rents
right.
for a year, which would be a bad
which
thing.
Is, huge.
So it's the unknown, right? And so have you guys hedged off any of that stuff? Have you have conversations about this stuff?
We've had some conversations about it. That's funny because I was just talking to my daughter on the way here, and I'm going, got several, loans in the pipeline, and I'm going, you know what? I think I'm going to lock all of these in today because I don't know,
right?
And just to, but as far as a game plan, it's hard to predict one because, again, if it's Trump, I think just like I think it's business as usual. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm going to keep going and plugging away at it. It's the unknown, and I don't know what to really. I mean, prepared to move quick when needed, but what that's going to look like, I don't know yet. So that's.
Yeah, we still sit on.
I'll be glued.
We have a nice fat reserve here for the things we do, so we're still sitting on that where we feel safe that way. But we are definitely concerned about the rent moratorium.
Right.
Now, I don't know if you're aware, but there's a little loophole in this whole thing that we didn't take any government-backed money.
Okay.
It's all private.
Got it.
I
Yep.
do not fall under those regulations.
Right.
We are evicting today.
Yeah.
Like literally, we're in court today evicting
Yeah.
our property manager there.
Yeah.
So we figured a couple ways around that stuff, and working with lawyers that understand how to get around it.
Yeah.
So we're not afraid of that stuff. We'll think it goes on, but we've seen just a sort of, if the 3 neighbors don't cut their lawn, why should I cut my lawn?
Right.
Right? I'm kind of
Right.
that kind of attitude. You're looking around and you're like, well, this guy says he ain't paying. This guy says he ain't paying.
Yeah.
Why am I
Why am I doing this?
Why am I an idiot? Right?
That's right.
So we got caught in that in a little complex we have. We have, I mean,
Just put a stop to it.
listen.
Because it'll spread quick.
If there's any liberal in this room, it's me. Okay, not that I'm that far off, but here's the deal. I provided a really nice renovated property.
Yeah.
With white shaker and quartz countertops and LED lights and everything is wonderful.
Right.
That is, I uphold my part of the deal.
Yeah.
If something breaks, I get a guy out there to fix it.
Right.
Your part of the deal is to pay the rent and not destroy my property.
Exactly.
If you choose not to follow your part of the deal, then I am a mean motherfucker to deal
Right.
with.
I'm coming down like a
Right,
hammer.
Hey, I voted for Clinton. Yeah, fuck you, but I want my money, right?
Right. Exactly.
I voted for Obama. That's right, but give me my money.
I want my money.
I want my money, right? This is the deal.
Right. Yeah. I held up my end of the bargain.
Right.
You pay.
Now, and the bigger problem, and I think a lot of landlords, and maybe you've seen it too, is and we're not having a lot of problems. I mean, we're blessed, right? So
Yeah.
we're okay. But none of them have ever come to us or our property managers and said, I'm having problems, I can't pay.
Yeah.
They just go dark, I guess out of fear.
Yeah.
I understand it.
Yeah.
And then okay, so you're not talking to me, then I'm going to assume that everything's bad and I'm coming to get the
Right.
property,
Right. Because you have no other way to go with that.
So I'm afraid that I have to do that probably for the next 12 to 14 months if Biden gets it.
Yeah. 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 Blake's probably, he's got, I don't even know, 120, 130 rentals. So
Yeah, he's a big time
So
landlord,
he's got, I think, he's got some other, little steps in place that he's going to go through. None of his are government-backed loans either. So, he can,
Drop the hammer when you need to.
Exactly. Yeah. But I think he's doing pretty, just like you said, knock on wood, I think he's doing pretty good.
I think Blake is doing just fine. So.
I think his is, yeah.
When his complaints about the lighting on his bulkhead on the dock,
Right.
we're okay, right? I think there's a guy who's doing pretty good. That's some really high-level first-world problems.
Right, right.
So, tell us a little bit about you. Are you in Texas all your life?
Texas all my life. Yep.
Here in
born,
Houston?
born and raised Houston. Yep.
Really? All
High school, everything. Yep.
Do you remember Astro World? Was that?
Oh yeah, yeah. It was huge. I loved it, man. I'm going there all the time. That riding Grease Lightning and the Texas Cyclone. Yeah, I remember that place was a blast.
Very good.
Yeah.
What high school did you go to?
Eisenhower. It's on the northwest side, right over around here. It's right down Antoine. So yeah, born and raised over in this area. Lived on a golf course, and it's gotten real estate. Gosh, when I was 19, 20.
Really?
Yeah, that young. Yeah. So I was in the wholesale side for many years with my sister.
Got it. Sure.
And then that's back when it was crazy. Stated income, this all kind of stuff. She got me into started in that business, and then I moved to helping that company do sell. They bulked it up. It was a privately held company out of New York. And we bulked loans up, and I would help them sell it off into the secondary market in big bulks.
Yep, you're the problem.
Yeah.
You're the guy right there. Blame him. 2008, right there.
And then end up going to do stuff, work for myself, and then just by chance kind of ran into Blake, and because I've known him since high school, we kind of reconnected through Curtis Warden.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Nice. Curtis Warden used to be my neighbor. And that's what I was telling Jason
What's
that
Curtis
last time.
like as a neighbor?
Actually, it was really good. My daughter probably giggled over there. He's cool. He's cool, man. He was out there playing basketball with the kids all the time. You know, he professed he could hoop really well.
He looks like a great dad. He looks like a
Oh yeah. Awesome. Yeah, no, he was always good with kids. Yeah, we always met out in front with at the bus stop, dropped the kids off, and he was heading out to. That's when he was doing a lot of flips, and he was partnered up with a lot of properties, and rentals. He still probably has. I don't know what he has, but yeah, we just got to talking, and I told him I'm in real estate, and he's like, yeah, I do this, and I do hard money loans. And I'm like, yeah. This is before I even heard this about 12 years ago. And he's like, yeah, you ought to call my broker, Blake Yarbrough. And I'm like, and I only know one Blake Yarbrough.
Right.
He literally called him at the bus stop, and he's like, hey, Blake, I got somebody here that wants to talk to you. I'm like, hey, what's up, man? But, yeah, that's kind of how I started here. But ever since, just been a roller coaster.
So what's the end look like for you? You have a game plan for the end, or does it just keep on trucking?
Yeah, I like what I do.
Yep.
Yeah. So, I don't, I'm going to keep doing what I do.
I'm not a big fan of real estate. I can't wait to get out, to be honest with you. I'm dead serious. I can't wait to get out. I got to get the hell out of this. It's horrible.
No, I really like it. I enjoy it. Yeah. It's not that you don't get frustrated, but it's, I really enjoy doing it. I like trying to figure out how to get deals done.
Nice.
My own deals. I like doing that, of course. But yeah, all the different ways you can make money in this business is insane.
It really is.
It's really insane. I mean, there's so many facets that you could go into to make money.
There's so many touches to a transaction.
Yeah. Yeah. It's
all of them get paid so well.
They do.
Yeah, we broke down a whole bunch of margins, and even like in the construction business, like to me, one of the greatest margins is one, a loan officer.
Yeah.
If you're set up as a sort of independent, right?
Yep.
And then HVAC.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Like, do you know what a furnace really costs?
Oh yeah, yeah.
$380.
Right.
They charge $2,500 to put it in.
Right.
Insane margins.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, but I don't want to do HVAC either.
I don't want to do any of that. I don't want to swing hammers. I don't want to do any of that.
I'm here to suck every good vibe that Jason Bible has out of him and get my portfolio built and get done. That's really the end game.
You're tapping out.
I'm going to move the Corpus, man. I love it down there, Port Aransas.
I know y'all got a bunch of properties there.
Man,
I know.
I can't wait. We just bought a 2-unit. It's on 11th. It overlooks the beaches. It's a really big block from the beach, but I can technically say I'm a block from the beach, but my golf cart access is right there, and I'll have no reason to ever want to leave there and maybe spend a little time in Southern California or the Northeast. But you can do that in real estate. You can get in, and stay focused, and get the hell out.
Yeah.
Right? Or you can spend a lifetime here and do very, very well.
Yeah, absolutely you can. Yeah, if you play your cards right, just like you said, you can get in and out and do very well.
Nice. Jason, you want to jump in here?
No, I want to kind of sit here and watch this thing.
Okay, I'll keep going. I'll keep going. We'll just keep going. What did I ask her? What do you miss most about the Houston you grew up in?
Oh man, that's a good question.
Restaurant disappear or?
But there may have been a restaurant, something that disappeared, but there's so many restaurants here that pop up that are so good. This place is
it really is a lot of money here. That's
golly, something that I miss. I know living here all my life, I couldn't pinpoint what there's really been nothing that I could think of off the top of my head. Astroworld, now that you say it. I mean, even still as a kid, right now, I'd go in a second if it was open.
Right.
But, other than that, there's other things that kind of Houston evolved into that before, as you get older too, you like, and you're like, oh, as I was younger, no, I wouldn't, care about that. But now you get older and, you're like, oh, that's cool. I'm glad they have that here.
Where was your summer vacation?
Bandera Ranch.
Where's that?
So San Antonio-ish hill country area. Went every year with our street that I grew up on. All of our neighbors,
Right.
we were all really, really close.
Yeah.
4th of July, we all barbecued
Sure.
and hung out. But
Blew things up. Yep.
yeah, but vacations, we all would, for the majority, just about everyone on our street would go to Bandera Ranch, and they would have horseback riding and
Nice.
stuff and pool, just stuff for kids, and these little cabins you'd stay in. But that was our big deal every year as a kid, is going to Bandera Ranch. I remember that. Several years in a row, we used to do that.
So what I found, I moved here in 2018, and we came from California.
Yep.
And we lived in a gated community in California because it's in LA. You kind of have to.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it's kind of needed. Even still, we still had some issues there, but it was a gated community, and we were all friendly. We all waved. But it was a big shocker moving to. We're up in Cypress, right up here.
Yeah, I lived out there for
off of
13
Louisiana.
years.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And we live on a cul-de-sac.
Yep.
And it was a complete change to us to actually know our neighbors.
Yeah. Very
And
friendly.
Very, very friendly, and very, very diverse. I'll tell you, if you care to listen.
Yeah.
I'll tell you that my epiphany on fake news came when I moved from California to here. And we were prepared for pickup trucks and guns and all that stuff, right? And it turns out, I've got a pretty conservative dude over here next to me. I have a gay couple over here. I have a guy that runs a hemp farm in the Northeast, right? And I've got another really conservative guy over here.
You do have a very
and we have,
diverse type
and
of
every
cul-de-sac.
holiday on the summer, there's a cookout. There's a barbecue.
Yeah.
We just go to block off the street, and people come from all around. And I was like, this is nothing the way it's portrayed
Right.
on the news,
Yeah.
right? And I felt foolish and bamboozled
Yeah. Yeah.
for most of my life. And I came here, and my neighbors are wonderful,
Yeah.
absolutely wonderful. And I think people, and here's how I describe it: if you get a flat tire in California, people will come over to you and tell you how much it sucks and commiserate with why you have a flat tire.
Right.
And then they'll tell you their story about why they have it bad too.
Right.
But
Right.
They won't help you with the tire.
No. No.
If you get a flat tire in New York or New Jersey, that's where I'm from, the guy will get out of his car and start changing your flat and curse you out the whole way. Motherfucker, I can't believe you made me stop on my way to work. I got to fix your damn tire, you idiot. He'll curse you out the whole way, put the tire in, and just drive off.
Right. Right.
In Texas, they'll help you with the tire and be nice.
Yeah.
So that's the sort of the difference of the three areas of the country that I lived in. And, I grew up, everyone yells at you in New Jersey. Everyone yells at you. Everyone's cursing. But we all help each other. To move to California, and it's just that sort of fake niceness
Yeah.
is not a good place. We stay there for the money and the weather. But
Yeah, the weather is
here
nice.
in Texas, and I'm sure it's most of the way in the Midwest here, I mean, we really found really good neighborhoods. I'm so happy to have landed in Houston.
Yeah. Yeah. Even the neighborhood I live in now, that's it's just we had a like kind of a little block Halloween deal where we all lady next door to us made chili and
Nice.
we had chili out there, the candy for the kids that came by. I mean, there's people that come in from other neighborhoods to come and trick or treat. They park their car and come over there, and we give the kids candy. And
Nice.
but yeah, that was the kind of neighborhood we have now. It's fun. Yeah.
All right, before Blake has a heart attack, let's go back to the business.
Very true.
What's the funkiest thing you funded?
The funkiest thing I funded.
Self-storage.
No,
RV
actually,
park,
so
something
I
out of the
did
ordinary that maybe it's not bread and butter stuff.
a mixed unit complex in Galveston. So it was the bottom they converted to it was a storefront, and I can't even remember what kind of store it he had, but obviously upstairs was a small apartment that he had. That's probably one of the funkier things that we've funded. I'm sure there's, as far as difficulty, God, there's been other deals that have just been horrible to deal with. But for one reason or the other, but that was probably mixed use. Yeah, because typically we're single family 1 to 4,
right.
and then we do smaller multifamily stuff.
Gotcha.
You start getting up into the higher loan amounts and the multifamily stuff. The insurance guys have better deals.
Yep.
But typically they don't want to even touch or even look at the smaller stuff, and I'll gladly do those.
Well, that's where we're taking this.
Yeah.
When we do the refi. There'll probably be insurance company.
Yeah.
So bread and butter is 1 to 4.
Yeah. Exactly. 1 to 4. We do those like clockwork. Single families, probably more single families. Some of the duplexes, triplex, fourplex stuff. It's just those are hard to find as far as the access that some of these investors have. Not that they're not there; they're there. It's just finding the right one that the numbers make sense for them. But I see a lot of them. The thing with those that I find is with most of the investors that bring them to us is, they've kind of been spoiled, I guess, to a degree on the ones where the single families that they're getting, where they're buying maybe, if you've shopped it and found it and that maybe they got it at, 25, 30% equity built into the deal, they do a hard money loan and they're like that. Typically some of the 2 to 4 stuff, that it's more, they're still finding deals, but it's closer to retail.
Yeah. But
the cash flow is crazy on those. So, kind of tell people, you may have to put a little bit more into it, but, look at the cash flow that you're getting on it. Plus, they're paying down your note. That's the main thing, and this is going to build equity in it.
Yeah,
that's the thing, and that's, a lot of people I tell them, don't get so hung up on cash flow. Yes, that is important, but it's more pay the note.
You say there's 3 things, right? There's cash flow, there's equity, and then there's depreciation.
Yeah.
Right? Those are your 3 income generators off the building.
Exactly.
And only in this market, and I've looked at lots of markets here, maybe Raleigh-Durham, maybe Jacksonville, the ones I was looking at, only certain markets can you get all 3.
Right. Yeah.
Right? If you go to
Absolutely.
Tulsa, you're not going to get a great appreciation. You're going to get a lot. You'll get your cash flow because you're going to buy it really cheap.
Yep.
Same thing in most of the Midwest. It's just going to be cash flow because it doesn't really spike.
It doesn't spike. Yeah.
California, West Coast, East Coast, same thing. Massive spikes, you'll never make cash flow.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
So again, for Texas, we're sitting in an area where we can get the cash flow, we can get appreciation, and we can also take our depreciation.
Yep. Absolutely.
Do you guys do any ground up loans?
Construction?
Yeah.
So that's a good question. We're actually, Blake has carved out or is in the process of getting carved out of our warehouse lines
Nice.
to be able to do that.
think
It's got to be the right
happening.
person. I mean, I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, no,
Any
we're-
Joe Blow off the street. Hey, look, I'm going to go build this fourplex over
Well,
here.
that's always the problem, right? That is the problem. I couldn't find a flip deal, so now I'm going to decide. Now I'm going to be.
Now I'm going to be a builder.
Now I'm a builder, right?
Right.
It's like-
Yeah. Have you ever done any of this before? Absolutely haven't. Do you have any rentals? Not at all.
No, whatsoever.
Okay. We're starting off on the right foot here.
We're teaming up with some builders. We're looking at some areas. We'd like to build some fourplexes.
Yeah.
Because I think you can still get the FHA financing for them.
Yep.
At very low rate.
Yep. Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Those are still great deals. In the construction, that we're definitely looking at doing some of those.
And I think obviously infill will be the easiest.
Yeah.
Versus going to buy raw land.
Right.
That type of thing. So.
Yeah. Yeah.
And you'll pay a premium on that infill, but so what, right?
But yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you'll make up for it for sure. It's just but yeah, especially fourplexes. And I do get a lot of those, and that's why we kind of like, hey, we got a need for this for sure for the construction side for the right person.
Sure.
So yeah, that's what we're working out to get carved out so that we got some of that ready available.
And where do you put your money personally? Is it all real estate? Do you have some in stocks? Do you have some energy?
Some
do
in
you do on the
stocks, real
finance side?
estate.
Mm-hmm.
It's probably the main two. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. Yeah. I do have a 401. Throw
Sure.
some stuff in there. But yeah, those two mainly. Real estate, though, you just can't beat. I don't think.
Nah.
It's just it's crazy. What I've seen in over the years, and just the people that do it right. And of course, you look at anybody that has any wealth, real wealth. Every one of them's got real estate.
Yep.
Every single one of them.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes, it's the whole reason for me to come to town. I didn't come here for the weather, right? So
you didn't come for the humidity?
I did not come. No, for the bad hair days. No, I did not come for that. Any of that. When you look at Houston going back, is there any regrets? You say, man, I should have did this. I should have picked these things up. Is there anything in that Houston real estate market that maybe thinking back you should have acted on?
Absolutely.
Anything stand out above
I
the
wish
rest?
I would have done this a lot sooner. That is why I'm getting her, my
really?
daughter,
Nice.
into this. She's turns 21 here in 2 days.
Great.
And she's been working with me for 2 years now.
Nice.
And so she's about to get her license. But I told her, look, I'm going to get you started in this, and I'm going to tell you the properties to buy, and you're going to buy these properties,
Sure.
and this is what you're going to do. And by the time you get anywhere close to my age, you'll be fine.
Well, I mean, by the time she's 30,
Yeah,
right, she can then just go and travel Europe.
exactly.
Whatever she wants to do.
That's
right?
exactly it.
We have one or a few of those 20-year-olds that kind of come along for the journey here, and we're just like, just put your head down for 8 years, and by the time you're 30, man, you can go wherever you want.
Yeah.
You want to live in New York City, go live in. You want to go live in L.A., go live in L.A. for a year.
Yeah,
You don't have to worry
absolutely.
about it.
Yeah, I wish I would have got into that part of it.
Would you have skipped the
smoother.
wholesaling part of it and gone right into the lending side or the retail side? Or would you have stayed in that wholesale?
Wholesaling mortgages, right? Is that what you were talking
Yes.
Oh, so
yeah,
you were
yeah,
just
yeah.
pushing paper. Got
Yeah,
it.
I was just pushing paper. That's
Yep.
all I was doing.
No
yeah,
offense.
yeah, I was just yeah.
No offense.
yeah, I was just pushing paper.
Would you have been more on the acquisition side, you think?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, that definitely acquiring the properties and getting those, and just learning more about this whole, being able to leverage hard money. Golly, if I would have known this, years ago, and started then, I would have, it's crazy. But yeah, that's probably the biggest thing. I wish I would have known all this when I first got started in it when I was 20 years old, that there was this out there or available, or it was all available at that point in time, which it probably was even when
I wish I knew when I was 30. If I
Yeah.
I really didn't pick this thing up till I was 44.
Yeah.
Right? I was just lied to all those years. I had no idea how money worked.
Right.
I had no idea how money worked. I had no idea.
Yeah.
It was all foreign to me. And then when I understand it, I understand. Oh, it's all the same. Got it.
Yeah, exactly. That is very true. When I got into this business, it was it was very structured as to what we did, and I, it was almost like I had blinders on, and then once you get away from that type of way that it was taught to you, then you're like, open up your eyes, and you're like, well, what is this guy doing, and how in the world did he do that at 30,
Right.
and now he's got all of this,
Yep.
and then you start digging in, and you're going, wow, I didn't know all of this was out there, and then you kick yourself in the tail.
All right, let's help some people.
Yep.
Brand new, smart,
Yep.
gonna come into real estate, and under 40. We'll do two categories.
Sure.
Under 40. Where do they go first? What's your best advice for them?
Best advice is
Become an agent, mortgages. Where do you want them? They're smart. They can pass any test. They can study and pass the test.
Yeah. I would say
Grind it out. Be the flipper. I mean, what do you?
No.
Yeah, no, he's shaking his head.
No.
No, don't flip.
No, I wouldn't do that. If it's a new person that's under 40 just getting into this, I would say either a loan officer or a real estate agent, because if you can network and get into the right groups with either one of those, you can see money quick. And the other ones, if you're getting started, I mean, yes, a flip, but I mean, man, if you don't know what you're doing, you can also bite you in the you can lose your ass.
Both that loan officer and that agent, you're at minimum 60 hours a work week, right?
Oh yeah,
for sure.
Yeah.
That's a given,
you're
right?
Putting
We're
it in.
hustling.
Right.
Yep.
You're constantly, looking for the next deal. I mean, that's because that's what it is.
There's a lot of people that were working in the hotel business, or working in the restaurant business, and they're watching this, or they're thinking about it. They're sitting at home, and like, what am I doing? And I've explained to our mastermind students is, I don't think the boom that we're seeing in real estate has hit the street yet. Like, I don't think your neighbors who are not in real estate understand what's going on yet.
Yeah.
I think that pops somewhere in March and April.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah. No, I would agree with that.
So really, we have a bit of a run up where we can take advantage of knowing and the rest of the world not knowing.
Right.
So they're just sitting there, and you're either going to become a loan officer. They can call you guys. Give them the plug again.
Yeah, you can call us at 713-651-9500 or the website forsmartmoney.com, the number 4smartmoney.
Excellent.
Yep.
So they can reach out to you and say, hey, I saw you on YouTube. I'm thinking about becoming a loan officer.
Yeah.
I'm smart. I'm not afraid to work 60 hours. I'm getting a little unemployment because I used to work in the hotel business or logistics or something, and I'm ready to try something new.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's you got to go through all the testing and stuff.
Of course,
but as long as you can do all that kind of stuff and get yourself hooked in with good networking groups, which they're all over and they're starting to pop back. They're actually
Upstairs.
starting to do They're starting to do more face to face stuff. You get tied into that, and man, it's the availability of business is right at your fingertips.
Fantastic. Okay, now person over 50. About to get laid off.
Person over 50.
Yep, in the oil industry, we're about to lose something like 5,000 jobs here in the greater Houston market. In the energy business, where are we putting them?
Yeah, so
now they've got some hang-ups, right? Because they're used to the corporate life, they're used to the setups. They probably have kids. They probably have a regular routine.
Right.
Is there a space for them in real estate?
Yeah. So and this goes back here. So depending upon what they did when they were before they got laid off, and if they got a little bit of change, in their 401 or whatever it may be, then I would say become a real estate investor.
Sure.
And if you've got that, cash that in,
Yep.
and then turn around for a good portion of it at least, and then because then I could do the debt service coverage type of loans.
Sure.
And there again, you don't have to necessarily work the 60-hour weeks with the kids, but you start getting the properties together, the cash flow, and start accumulating the assets. Then you can start cross collateralizing stuff and leveraging it, and then go bigger and start doing other things.
Absolutely.
So, I think for a sophisticated type of a person that's maybe had the professional type of career that was maybe laid off.
Yeah, they probably have 6 to 8 years worth of college behind them. Yep.
Right. That could fall under, they could, fit into that, with the right kind of mentoring.
Just so you know, when I say 6 to 8 years of college, I mean like they have an undergraduate degree,
right,
and a doctorate. Not the 6 to 8 years of college that I did. That's not what I'm talking about.
Right. Yeah, I graduated.
Yeah.
Only took me 6 years, but
right. And walking around campus, you're 24 years old. That's not what I'm talking about.
Right.
But they're going to transition. They're going to use their wealth now and expand on it.
Yeah, absolutely. I think that would be a perfect transition for them. It's and the availability. We're still hot. It's still a hot market.
Yep.
Here it's they can still pick up deals. It's just getting out there and getting after it.
Jason, do we look pink today?
No, you guys are looking okay.
No
that
pinky.
down a little bit.
All right.
A little bit back to you. What are your hobbies? You have time for hobbies?
Yeah, I do.
Hunting guy?
I do like to hunt, mountain bike.
Oh, really?
Yep. I've still I've had a few spills, so I'm not too crazy on. I've lived in Sugarland, right off of New Territory, and I've been there for 5, 6, 6, 7, almost 7 years now.
Nice.
But I didn't know that there was literally trails right.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you could go out my back gate, and there was trails.
Anthills are over there.
Yeah, I didn't realize they were all there. And then, so I went back there, and it's crazy. So yeah, mountain biking, hunting, yeah, fishing. I'm actually, trying to plan a hunting trip with a buddy of mine, David. He's also in this business too. Yeah, trying to do some hunting.
Nice.
Yeah, that's I'm a simple guy. I like to travel. I don't do it near enough, but I'd like to do some more of that for sure. Definitely travel.
Yeah, we love traveling.
Yeah,
We're
Yeah.
going like every other month. We're taking advantage of the just stuff right now. We think we're smart and we're safe, and why not?
absolutely. Yeah. I'd like to. I think I'm pulling the trigger on a Cabo trip here. That's what I'm gonna go.
Jason. All right, so listen, you probably know more than me, but if I actually put my brain to it, I could probably come up with 9 hard money lenders in this town.
Oh yeah.
Then there's probably double that.
Yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
ones I don't know.
Yeah.
Why do guys keep coming back to you?
Uh,
What you have? I'm sure you have a great return customer base.
Oh yeah.
Why do you think
absolutely.
they're coming back to you?
Customer service. I think that I'm pretty much available all the time.
Sure.
And experience. A lot of the stuff that I can do. Not that the other guys can't. It's either maybe they don't have the time to, or maybe they just don't have the background to do it. Not knocking anybody, but just maybe they don't have it.
You can knock them. It's
They I get several borrowers and even agents actually that work at some of these investment groups or agents just in
nice.
general that will come to me and ask me what do I think ARVs are going to come in at, and I always give my disclaimer: I am not an appraiser.
Sure. Yeah.
But I've done this long enough, and I was actually one of our appraisers that does all of our hard money stuff. This guy I went to high school with, so I know he's kind of taught me what they look at, and so a lot of that can be invaluable when I've got a customer coming to me and going, hey, look, I'm going to look at this property at 4 o'clock. There's probably going to be some bids on it. They're saying the ARV is this. What do you think it's going to come in at? Because I'm going to make an offer on it here with my contractor here in the next 2 hours. And I can look at it in 5 minutes and go, yeah, I think it's here. Yeah, I know the wholesale told you 230, but it's 2. And so I'm going to lend off a 2.
Yeah.
And,
you hear it all the time. Yep.
and so you button up the side with your contractor, and they're good to go, and pull the trigger, and
Excellent. Let's talk about appraisals last, and we'll let you guys
Sure.
your door to get out of here.
Yeah.
Are you seeing a delay?
Yes.
Time waste. Yeah. What's it taking even on a hard money loan? What's the time frame?
I could still get them done in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay.
And
2 weeks once all the paperwork is filed, right?
Yeah. So once
Because I call you up and I say, hey, I want to do a hard money loan. 3 weeks later, I give you the stuff, and I start complaining that at week 4 the appraisal's not in, right?
Yeah.
So we got to have all the paperwork in, right?
Right. Yeah. 2 weeks from the date that I get a executed contract and your repair bid. Good. So if I get those 2 things, of course, the essentials.
Sure.
They're credit, income, assets of the person themselves, but those are the 2 major things that I need to kickstart and get an appraisal done. But if I can get that, then I can still get them done in 2 weeks.
And how about Fannie and Freddie in the sort of conventional loan world? Where was that?
Yeah, it's
60?
45 to 60 days,
Yeah.
45 if I'm lucky, and everything.
Got it.
World lines up just perfect. It's just it's crazy. That's what's so frustrating, and it is for borrowers. Unfortunately there's nothing I could do, but because it is for me. I just keep pumping them in, and I'm just you just got to wait for it to go through the underwriting. And it's what's crazy is that some of these underwriters have gotten so busy, and some of these companies have gotten so busy, they just go, you know what? We don't want or care to have any more business. So they just price themselves completely out of the market. And that's what I'm going, you've got to have a lot of business to go, I don't want any more.
Yes. That's we've come up with one or two of those as well. Still on the appraisers. So the way I understand it is appraisers are bottom up, meaning they take the 3 or 4 close numbers in the neighborhood, and then they add on. Hey, you did this. It's got a garage. We're going to add this up. Versus the way that every new investor looks at it and looks at the highest
comp,
the highest comps, and then say, "Well, I don't have a pool, but it's only $10,000, so therefore it must be worth $230," right?
Right.
So we've worked with them. They have a method to what they're doing, and it's typically not the way that everyone else is calculating their numbers.
Right. Yeah, it's different, and that's the thing that you got to really watch for, because that's the, and I've seen that on an appraisal where, that particular area, if you do take several comps across the board and all of them have the pool, it may only be a $10,000 hit, but it's usually not. It's a little bit more than that.
Right.
So if that's all you're taking into consideration across every neighborhood and every place, then that's where it's going to bite you. And then I always love it when you get the investor that goes, well, that's or agents. I've even had agents, well, the price per square foot. Not you can't do
that is default.
Yes.
If there's no other way to appraise it, they'll do price per square foot. But
Right.
if there's a crap house down the street at 180 and you're telling everyone's worth 230, no, that's the comp, right?
Exactly. And a lot of people will get hung up on that, but the appraiser goes and he's going to look, kind of at the prettiest one. And the one that maybe is just a notch or so below what you're going to be putting on the market.
Right.
And then he comes up and he goes, okay, here's pretty much the median.
Yep.
That's what he's looking at. So, when those investors come to me and go, well, no, here's the comp right now. Well, this whole appraisal can't be based off that one comp. Got to have 3. Yep. And this one is just, and again, it depends on what they're comparing to. It's, a lot of stuff is not always the same that they're putting in the houses. So,
How do you feel about lending in flood zones?
I have no problem with it. I mean,
100-year, not a problem.
No. I mean, I just look to see what the sales are, for that area. If so, that's what's going to be driving it. If it's a an area like Westbury, then I've got to go off of what the sales are. Yes, that house probably 2-3 years from now, would it be worth what they think it is now? Sure. Yeah. But it's still not there yet. That's why I've only got to go off of what the sales are telling us.
So if it's taking, just breaking down the appraisal and just kind of for folks to understand, if it's taking 60 days, so if it's taking 45 days on an FHA appraisal, it's probably taking 75 days to close.
No. So it won't take that long on the appraisal. I'm saying beginning to end,
60
just to
days
close
on
to
an
close.
FHA.
Yeah, to close. But the appraisal's still taking probably about every bit of 2 to 3 weeks.
Got it.
It's just the underwriting on those that it's
45
just
to
taking
60 days. And we've heard someone say 75 days, which will tell you that's how far behind you are in the marketplace.
Yes. Yeah.
Right. So when
Absolutely.
the appraisal comes in, hey man, it's taking 60 days to close. So we're really just going off of August numbers right now.
Right.
Doesn't matter how great September is.
Yeah.
Right, because we're not looking at the properties that are listed.
Yeah.
Right? And so that's another place where people are losing that $10,000 or $15,000. They're looking at, well, what's on the market? Everything's selling for $240.
Yeah.
I have to be worth $230. Well, back in July when a lot of these things are under contract, it was $215 market.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So that's the problem with a rapidly appreciating market.
Exactly. Yeah. And that's the nature of the beast where we're at right now. It's just with everybody running to do get cheap money because it's out there. It's
Bring it in. We're just
exactly.
Hungry hippo,
it's a backlog of everything. So even surveys. Heck, I've had some title companies tell me it would take a week or longer just to get a survey done. Which beforehand it's a phone call and I'd have one in the afternoon. They're just those guys are just I can't do that anymore.
Not anymore. Nope. Sean, thanks for joining us.
Absolutely.
Why don't you
Enjoyed
give us the full plug one more time so everyone can reach you guys?
Yeah, absolutely. So you can reach us on the website at 4smartmoney.com, the number 4 smartmoney.com, or you can always call us 713-651-9500.
Awesome. Jason, I think that's it.